Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Vihari Juki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Juki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Juki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosvāmī Mahārāja Srila Gurudev Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Pravishta Mahabhagavat Śrīla Gaura Kishoras Babaji Mahārāja Ki Jai Nitya Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Nitya Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Mahārāja Ki Jai Shri Rupa Nugagariya Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasa Gunath Shar Gosvāmī Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Namachay Śrīla Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandala, Gaura Mandala, Raja Mandala, Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Sarva Abhishta Pradakta Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kund Ki Jai Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai Shri Purushottam Dev Shri Jagannath Dev Ki Jai Shri Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Shri Purushottam Vrat Ki Jai Vrat Palan Kari Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai Shri Caitanya Bhagavat Ki Jai Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai Shri Caitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai Śrīla Krishnadas Kaviraj Gosvāmī Pad Ki Jai Shri Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Shri Golden Volcano of Divine Love Ki Jai Śrīla Bhakti Rakṣaka Shri Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Nimāi Gaur Premanande Hari Hari
Hari Bo.
Hari Bol Kishore Prabhu and Gayatri Didi. And who else is there? 1 second, just checking this out. Ganga Mataji, Hare Krishna. Alright, so now we can sing Kirtan. If anybody has any suggestions of what I should sing, let me know. I want to sing something for Mahāprabhu, otherwise I'll just choose something. 1 second, just need to drink some water. Okay. So let's see. Which Gaur Kirtan have we not done yet?
Yadi Gaura Nahito?
Yeah, let's do that one. Okay. Okay, let's do that one. Okay, Jadi Gauranga Nahito. 1 second. If Sri Gauranga had not appeared, then what would become of us? How would we have survived? Who could have taught the world about the glories of Srimati Radharani and the topmost limit of Prem Ras? Who would have true insight to enter the sweet rapture of the forests of Vrindadevi and the power to render loving service in the mood of the damsels of Vraj? With a simple heart, always sing about Gauranga's glorious qualities. I cannot see even one person as compassionate as he in this ocean of material existence. Even though I chant Gauranga, my heart has not melted. How do I continue to maintain this body? How has Narahari been created with a stone in the place of a heart? With a stone in the place of a heart. Yes. 1 second. Just. Okay. Okay. Hari Bo, Indira Mataji, and Vidyalala Sadidi. Hare Krishna. This is by Srila Narahari Sarakar. Ajadi Gauranga Nahito Otobe ki hoito Kemone dorito de Radhara Mahima Prema Rasa Sima Radhara Mahima Prema Rasa Sima Jagate Janato ke Jagate Janato ke Madhura Vrinda Vipina Madhuri Madhura Vrinda Vipina Madhuri Pravesha Chaturi Sa Pravesha Chaturi Sa Varaja Jovati Bhavera Bhakati Varaja Jovati Bhaver Bhakati Shakati Hoi Tokar Shakati Hoi Tokar Agao Puna Puna Gaurangir Guna Agao Puna Puna Gaurangir Guna Sarala Hoiya Man Sarala Hoiya Man E Bhavasagare Emona Doya E Bhavasagare Emona Doya Na dekhije ek jana Na dekhije ek jana Gauranga boliya Nagenu galiya Kemone dorinu de O Gauranga boliya Nagenu galiya Kemone dorinu de Narahari hiya Pashana diya Narahari hiya Pashana diya Kemone goriyache Kemone goriyache Narahari hiya Pashana diya Kemone goriyache kemone koriache যদি গৌরাঙ্গ নাহিত তবে কি হইত কেমনে ধরিতন্তে যদি গৌরাঙ্গ নাহিত তবে কি হইত কেমনে ধরিতন্তে অনারা রাধার মহিমা প্রেমর সীমা রাধার মহিমা প্রেমর সীমা জগতে জানাত কে জগতে জানাত কে ও রাধার মহিমা প্রেমর সীমা জগতে জানাত কে জগতে জানাত কে জয় সচ্চিদানন্দ জয় গৌরা হরি সচ্চিদানন্দ জয় গৌরা হরি জয় সচ্চিদানন্দ গৌরা হরি সচ্চিদানন্দ জয় গৌরা হরি হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল নিতাই গৌর হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল जय श्री सच्चिदानंद गौर हरि की जय. All right, so now now we will let me see. Okay, so yeah, Kishore Prabhu, or do you have anything to share, like anything that you'd like to share from yesterday, or just anything about Purushottam or about our reading yesterday of Srila Bhakti Rakṣaka Gosvāmī?
Well, yesterday we were reading about Nityananda Prabhu, and it reminded me how when Srila Śrīdhara Mahārāja was glorifying Nityananda Prabhu, it reminded me of how Srila Śrīdhara Mahārāja wanted to go and live in Navadvip Dham, and at Aparada Bhanjana, isn't it?
Yes.
And so he went and to go and see Nityananda Prabhu at Ekachakra Dham, and he went before the deity of Lord Nityananda and then offered obeisances, praying, "O Nitai, I want your mercy." And a voice spoke to him in his heart, saying, "You want mercy, but you're not willing to give it."
Huh.
Then Srila
Wow.
Śrīdhara Mahārāja understood, oh, I have to do some compromise. I have to begin initiating.
Wow.
That was
I've
one of the reasons he
beautiful.
started initiating. There's two other stories, two other pastimes. Padmanabha Maharaj knows them.
Yesterday in Padmanabha Maharaja's class, he said he read something so interesting. Oh, I highly recommend everybody reads it if they get a chance. It was Srila Bhakti Rakṣaka Gosvāmī talking about himself, like giving his autobiography, kind of, and yeah, it was so interesting, very, very interesting. And he said that Srila Bhakti Dayit Madhav Gosvāmī every year he would, I think he used the word, he said he would charge him for not going out and preaching, but just staying inside Caitanya Saraswat Mat all the time. that he wasn't going out and, yeah. Yeah, but that wasn't ever his. That wasn't really Srila Śrīdhara Goswami Maharaj's nature. It was to, well, it was to some degree though, because Srila Śrīdhara Goswami Maharaj said that he wasn't so into doing the publication work, but that he wanted more to go out and speak about Krishna. Like he wanted to, and so then Srila Saraswati Thakur had him travel around. But at the same time, Srila Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, he actually first said that Srila Śrīdhara Goswami Maharaj should go to the West and preach to the, he should go to England. And Srila Śrīdhara Goswami Maharaj, he said that I have absolutely no interest in talking to these people. And if I go there, it's not gonna be very effective. Like, he's like, you can send me, I will follow anything that you say. So if you tell me to go to England, I'll go. But I'm just letting you know, since I don't want to speak to these people and I'm not feeling, I forgot exactly what he said, but he said that the preaching isn't going to be very effective. And so then instead, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada sent Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj, in his stead. But what were the two other things that you're talking about, Kishore? The two other stories?
Oh, there were two other reasons why he began initiating. I don't remember them though.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why I said Padman. You can ask Padmanabh Maharaj.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
he was thinking, Srila Śrīdhara Maharaj was also thinking, I want to do private bhajan, but my Guru Maharaj didn't like it. He didn't like, how to say, you know what I mean.
Yes, I understand. He's
So he
more
said,
of a Bhajananandi than a Goshtanandi. Yes.
So he thought, I have to do some compromise. I can do some bhajan, but I have to preach as well.
Yes. That's
What
really
you
nice.
just, you know what you just mentioned about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada and Srila Śrīdhara Maharaj, it reminded me of another disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta that Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada wanted to send. He was Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Maharaj.
Mm-hmm.
Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, he wanted to send him to the West, but Srila Madhusudan Maharaj, he said, no, Prabhupada, I can't go. Please don't send me. If I go, I'm afraid that I won't be able to carry out your order. And
oh my God. Wow, that's a really bold thing to say. Wow.
And Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur said, there, because he was at his feet. He's like, there, you won't have to go. Abai Babu will go.
Oh, really? Wow. Wow, that's very neat. I've never heard that one either. That's really neat.
Yeah. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, don't worry, Abai Babu will go.
Actually, Bhakti Kamala Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj, he was one of the first people, like actually before Srila Bhakti Rakṣaka Śrīdhara Goswami Maharaj took shelter of Srila Saraswati Thakur, he was friends with Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj. I forgot the details on that. Anyway, maybe one of these days I'll read it. I'll read that autobiography because it's so fascinating and like a lot of really good history in there. And yeah. All right, so I guess now we can do the Mangala Charan, and let me just see who's there. Haribo, Raseshwari Mataji, and Govinda Saha, and Prajumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji. Yes, Prajumna Prabhu, he's asking, did Srila Bhakti Rakṣaka Śrīdhara Goswami Maharaj call our A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada a Shaktivesh avatar? Yes. I heard this from Padmanabha Maharaj that actually Haribol Champaktiri. I heard from Padmanabha Maharaj that what was it? That Srila Śrīdhara Goswami Maharaj was the first person to actually say that Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada is he's a Shaktivesh avatar. And then somebody asked Srila Śrīdhara Goswami Maharaj, a Shaktivesh avatar infused with whose Shakti? Because Shaktivesh avatar means that it's a personality who's infused with a particular. Bhagavan has many different Shaktis, but they're infused with a particular Shakti. And so they asked, which Shakti is he infused with? And then Srila Śrīdhara Goswami said, Nityananda Shakti. So It cannot but be. And so Srila Prabhupada going to the west was like Nityananda Prabhu directly going to the west. Like it was Nityananda Prabhu's full Shakti going with him. That's why Srila Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada was so... that's why it completely changed the whole world, because it was Nityananda Prabhu's Shakti going. Yeah. Were you about to say something, Kishore Prabhu?
Oh, I was just thinking of how one disciple of Srila Śrīdhara Maharaj told me that he went to go see Srila Śrīdhara Maharaj once, and Srila Śrīdhara Maharaj told him, "All of you devotees, you are coming to me by the mercy of Swami Maharaj. I take him to be Shaktavesh, 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 Shaktavesh. It cannot but be."
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. All right, so now we will continue on. We'll do Mangalacharan and then begin our reading from Golden Volcano of Divine Love. Okay. I'm not going to do the full Mangalacharan, but I'll just sing some of the verses. We'll do the full one once we resume our Caitanya Bhagavat reading. Ajnanatimirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ajanulambita bhujo kanakavadato sankirtanaika pitaro kamalaya-taksho vishvambharo dvijavaro yugadharmapalo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro. Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. Okay, let's do this prayer to Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra Devi. Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Te Namaha. And then this is what we pray every day during Purushottam. This is the verse that we're supposed to pray. Govardhana Dharang Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokulotsavam Ishanam Govindam Gopika Priyam. I worship the lifter of Govardhan Gopal, who has the form of a Gopa. He is the festival of Gokul, Gokul Utsav. He is the supreme controller of all. He is Ishvar. And he is Govinda, the beloved of the Gopis. Gopika Priyam. Govindam Gopika Priyam. Oh, and there was one more verse. Didn't we read yesterday? God, I didn't. What was the other verse that we're supposed to sing? I can find it. Just one second. It's here. Srila Bhakti Thakur. Okay, let me see if I can find it. I'll prepare it tomorrow so that we can do it every day. Oh, God. Is this one? Okay. Let me just make this big. Okay. So this is the Namaskar mantra. The mantra for offering pranam during this month. Vande Nava Ghana Shamam Dvibhujam Muralidharam Pitambara Dharang Devam Saradhang Purushottamam. Oh yeah, and there's an Arti, Dhyan, and Pushpanjali mantra. So this is a mantra we should chant when we do Arti. I need to memorize these verses. Dhyan mantra. And okay, anyways, I will do that later on. At least I said that mantra yesterday. We said that mantra yesterday, but I need to prepare it on the file. Okay. Tavai vasmi na jivami tvaya vina iti vigyaya devi tvang nayamang charanantikam bhaktya vihina aparada lakshay Shetashtakama ditaranga madhye Kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna Vrinde namaste charanaravindam Vrinde namaste charanaravindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So now we begin chapter 5, is it? 4. Is it 4? Chapter 4 or 5? I think it's 4. Chapter 4 of Golden Volcano of Divine Love by Srila Bhakti Rakṣaka Śrīdhara Gosvāmī Mahārāja. And yeah, yesterday, chapter 3 was so juicy. I'll just read the last section just to recap, and then we'll begin the reading. Misconception. Attack it. Crush it. Nityananda Prabhu's approach was somewhat peculiar. His strategy was to uplift the most fallen. Like Napoleon, whose policy was to attack the strongest position of the opposing army, Nityananda Prabhu wanted to capture the most sinful. Generally, we think that a saint flies away from this world of Maya and goes to a solitary place where he can enter into a cave and engage himself in meditation. Indian saints generally preach, give up everything, go to a solitary place in the jungle, find a cave, and engage yourself fully in understanding Godhead. But our Guru Mahārāja was different. Like Mahāprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, he wanted to attack Maya, and like a great general, he declared totalitarian war on illusion and even all other existing conceptions of religion. Why is there this misunderstanding and misconception, he thought? Everything belongs to Krishna. Isha vasyam idam sarvam. It is plain and simple and sweet. How can we think this is for me, that is for him? Why should we let this misconception stand here at all? Attack it and crush the whole thing. He told us, Kirtan means to preach against misconception. As soldiers, you must go door to door and preach Krishna consciousness, Krishna's interest, the Krishna conception. If they understand that everything is for Krishna, they will be saved. This truth is plain and simple. Why should they not understand this? Try to capture them, to release them from the world of misconception and misunderstanding, where they are now suffering from reaction. In this way, we are not afraid of anything. A Vaishnav who loves solitary life once asked our Guru Mahārāja, "Why do you stay in Kolkata? That is the place of Satan, where fighting for selfish interest is so acute. Leave that. Come to the holy Dham." But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur especially chose that place, Kolkata, saying, "I prefer to represent Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu's creed in an extremely contaminated place." For this reason, he wanted to send men to the West. The East is captured by the glamour of Western civilization, he said. So Western civilization must first be crushed. Then its glamour will vanish, and the whole world will come to join the campaign of divine love for Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. This was the same spirit with which Nityananda Prabhu canvassed the fallen souls of this world in his attempt to take them to the lotus feet of Sri Caitanya. Shri Caitanya Mahāprabhu. Jai Śrīmad Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Alright, so now it's 7:30. It's our time to begin our reading. So we're reading from chapter 4. Mad Nimāi Paṇḍit. Just checking restream again. Haribo, Cristiano Luna, and Sudevi Didi, and Gargarajji, Dandavat Pranam. Okay. 1 second. Oh, I have a question. Anybody on YouTube or Facebook can let me know. When Kishore Prabhu was speaking, could everybody hear? Like, maybe it doesn't get the internal audio. If nobody could hear that, then next time I will try to share the audio before Kishore Prabhu or anybody else speaks. So I'll check back to see if everybody could clearly hear Kishore Prabhu. I think so, because we're streaming from Zoom, but I just want to make sure. Okay. So, Mad Nimāi Paṇḍit. At the time of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu's advent, Bengal had fallen far away from Krishna consciousness. The people of the day had become so much degraded that they would pass their time spending money they'd spend their money like water to see the marriage of cats. That'd be so interesting to see a cat marriage. Anyways, deviating from the worship of the Supreme Lord, Krishna, they used to worship the serpent goddess, Vishahari, or the controller of the demons, Kali. Very rarely would the name of Krishna be heard from their lips. Only a few of the Hindu gentlemen, when bathing in the Ganges, would chant the holy name of Govinda, Hari, or Krishna. In Navadvip Dham, the place of the advent of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu was under Muhammadan rule in those days. The Qazi was in power in Navadvip, and the Hindus' religious feelings were checked by the strong hand of his Islamic rule. Okay, so everybody could hear. Here. Cool, thanks. Advaita Acharya was a great scholar and the most senior among Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu's followers. He appeared in Navagram in Śrīdhara, in the eastern province of Bengal, and resided in Shantipur. Ontologically speaking, Sri Advaita Acharya is the avatar of Mahavishnu, who creates the material cosmos through the agency of his illusory energy. Advaita Acharya is a devotee who earnestly invited Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu to descend here as the Yuga avatar to look after the welfare of all souls. He began to worship the Lord with Ganges water and tulsi leaves and invoked his grace, praying, "O Lord, please come and deliver these people. The time has come to relieve them by the distribution of the sweet name of Krishna. Come, my Lord, they are most poor." In this way, Advaita Acharya attracted Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu by pleading the cause of the fallen souls. Of course, the time had come for the advent of the incarnation for this age, the Yuga Avatar. But still, Advaita Acharya performs the function of inviting and welcoming Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. The advent of Sri Caitanya. And when the Supreme Lord was about to appear, Advaita felt in his heart, "My prayer is going to be satisfied. He is coming." Ultimately, he detected that Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, had personally appeared in the house of Sri Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Devi as their newborn boy, Nimāi Vishvambar. And so, Advaita Acharya went to pay due respects to the child and his parents on the Divine Advent Day. When the boy was a little grown up, Sri Advaita Prabhu came down to bow at the feet of the child, Nimāi. Shachi Devi, Nimai's mother, shuddered. "What are you doing? You are an old Paṇḍit, a Vedic scholar. If you show this kind of respect to my young boy, it will spoil his future. What are you doing?" It was said that whenever Advaita Acharya used to bow down to his head, it was said that whenever Advaita Acharya used to bow down his head to a deity, the statue would shatter into pieces if it was a sham, if there was no genuine presence of the Lord. But here, when Advaita Prabhu put his head at the feet of the boy, Nimāi put one foot on Advaita Acharya's head. Everyone was astounded and wondered, what kind of spiritual power does this child have? Such a great devotee scholar and senior man as Advaita has bowed down to this child, and the child has stepped on Advaita's head? But the child is quite unaffected. Who is this child? Yeah, because if this child wasn't Bhagavan, then he would have died. Nimai's childhood. 1 second, I'm just going to turn on noise suppression. How do I do that? Just so that you don't hear background noise. 1 second. Audio. Okay. Zoom, optimize audio. Medium. There. Okay. I think now there shouldn't be any background sound. Okay. There. Sorry. So annoying, this video always blocks the screen. Okay. Nimai's childhood. When Nimāi was a boy, sometimes he would disguise himself with a blanket and enter into the banana grove of a neighbor's house. With a push of his head, he used to break down the banana trees. But the neighbors would come out and think, a bull must have entered and demolished our garden. In these pastimes, the Lord was teaching his devotees, I am demolishing all your banana trees that will be used for some other purpose besides my service. In the highest sense, you are my eternal associates, and I can do anything and everything with your possessions to suit my fleeting pleasures. Sometimes he would snatch fruit from the hand of Śrīdhara Paṇḍit, saying, oh, give me this banana. I won't be able to pay you any price. Śrīdhara Paṇḍit would tell him, why are you doing this? You are a Brahmin boy. I cannot refuse you, but you should not do these things. I am a poor man. If you snatch away my best things, how can I make a living? In this way, Nimāi performed his pastimes of stealing fruit. As Nimāi Paṇḍit grew up, he used to show Advaita Acharya great respect. But Advaita could not tolerate it. He said, I know that you are not an ordinary person. You are a supernatural, transcendental personality of the highest order. Still, in the worldly sense, you are younger than me, so you show me respect. But I cannot tolerate it. It is too much for me. But what could Advaita do? Nimāi used to show his formal respects to Advaita Prabhu every time they met. So Advaita made a plan to stop this, and he thought to himself, I shall see how clever you are. He left Navadvip, went to Shantipur, and began to preach against the devotional school. The news came to Nimāi that Advaita Acharya, after such a long time as a devotee, was preaching against the devotional school. He was preaching that Gyan, that knowledge, is higher than devotion. Devotion makes the Lord far away, he argued, and knowledge tries to bring him very near. With knowledge, one thinks, I want to experience you, O Lord. And devotion says, he is a Dhaksha, transcendental. He cannot be traced by our senses. So devotion makes him far away by saying, it is only by his sweet will that may connect us. But according to the path of knowledge, the supreme authority is within you, in your heart. The devotional school is clearly secondary. Don't kill that old man. Okay. In this way, Advaita Acharya began to preach. And when that reached the ears of Nimāi Paṇḍit, he went with Nityananda to punish Advaita. They jumped into the Ganges and swam all the way to Shantipur, where they found Advaita Acharya. Nimāi confronted him. What are you doing, Acharya? Why have you invited me to come here? With Ganges water and tulsi leaves, you prayed for me to appear, and now you are making fun of me? You are speaking against devotion, against me? You're speaking against devotion, against me? What is the matter with you? In this way, Nimāi Paṇḍit began to punish Advaita. He began to slap him. The old wife of Advaita Acharya began to cry, "What are you doing? Don't kill that old man." Nityananda Prabhu was smiling, and Haridas Thakur, perplexed, was standing at a little distance, trying to understand what is the matter. Then Advaita Acharya Prabhu felt great satisfaction. He said, "I have taught you a lesson now. You have come to punish me. You are defeated, and I have gained victory over you." Advaita Prabhu began to dance. "Today, I have defeated you, my lord. You had to punish me. Where has that formal respect you are always showing me gone now?" In this way, Advaita Acharya rejoiced and offered Mahāprabhu a feast of shak. Advaita Acharya rejoiced and offered Mahāprabhu a feast of shak, which is Mahāprabhu's favorite delicacy, which we cannot eat for 2 months. Okay. The Lord gave so much grace to Advaita Prabhu that although he was an old scholar and acharya, he was punished with slaps. It is not possible to punish or dishonor anyone we respect, but only our intimate friends. We can only do that to our intimate friends. Disrespect and dishonor is possible only when there is great intimacy. Pure devotees want punishment. Punish us, they pray, but punishment from the highest quarter is not very cheap. Wow, punishment from the highest order is not very cheap. So when we get punished, that's actually, we're so lucky. It's a rare thing to get that punishment, so we should be grateful. Advaita's mystic poem. Many years later, just before Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu began to manifest his final pastimes of divine ecstasy, Advaita Acharya Prabhu wrote some mystic lines of poetry, which he sent to the Lord through Jagadananda Pandit. Baal ke kohi ho loka hoilo baal, baal ke kohi ho hate na bikai chaul, baal ke kohi ho kaye nahi ko aul, baal ke kohi ho iha kohi ache baal. Tell our Prabhu, who acts as madmen do, that everyone has lost their sanity, and rice, once high in price, has no value. In love of God, half-crazed humanity neglects this world, and they all once hold. What? Half-crazed humanity neglects this world, and all they once held dear. Tell him a madman brings this to his ear. When Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu read that mystic poem, his mood became serious. Swarup Damodar was there. "What is written here?" he said. Mahaprabhu replied, "I do not know what is the real meaning, but Advaita Acharya is a great worshipper, and a certain class of worshippers are accustomed to think, we shall invite the deity, and for some time we shall try to keep him here for worship. Then, when we are finished with our worship, finally we shall bid him adieu." You see that in Bengal, like after Durga Puja time or Saraswati Puja, you see, like after it's over, you see all these old vigrahas of Saraswati Devi or of Durga, and they throw them into the pukurs. Or lots of times they'll just keep them there until they like become like all messed up by the weather. So perhaps Advaita thinks, now it is time for the deity to go. I don't know what is the real meaning, but perhaps this is his purpose. Swarup Damodar took the poem, read it, and became very thoughtful. Swarup Damodar thought, oh, Advaita Prabhu is saying that the requirements for Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance have been fulfilled, and now he is no longer needed to preach the holy name of Krishna as the incarnation for this age. The avatar's duty is finished, and so he may go. The last 12 years. After this, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu remains within this world for 12 more years, but not as before. His mood was quite changed. From that day on, he felt great separation from Krishna in the mood of Radharani. Divine madness became predominant in him, and his social connection was almost closed. His social connection was almost closed. Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar were his attendants at that time. He no longer kept any social connections. The fire within him was burning, the fire of separation. He was absorbed in Radharani's search for Sri Krishna after Krishna left Vrindavan. In that mood of divine madness, he spent 12 years in a closed room within the house compound of Kashi Mishra. Sometimes at night, unconsciously crossing the boundary wall, he would run to meet Lord Jagannath. When Swarup Damodar and his other attendants would suddenly find that no sound of Krishna's name could be heard within his room, they would begin searching. Mahaprabhu is not there. Where is he? Sometimes they would find him fallen before the main gate of the Jagannath temple, his legs and hands drawn within his body like the limbs of a tortoise drawn within its shell. A very sweet fragrance could be detected emanating from him, and the cows would flock there, smelling his body. While Mahaprabhu was lying in his trance, he was internally experiencing the pastimes of Radha and Govinda with the gopis in Vrindavan and Govardhan. At that time, Swarup Damodar and the others tried their best to revive him from his trance by chanting the holy name of Krishna. When Mahaprabhu was roused, he complained, "What have you done? I was enjoying a most happy experience there, but by raising a clamor, you have drawn me down here. You have drawn me down here." And what raised the clamor? The chanting of Hare Krishna. And who is chanting the name of Krishna? Swarup Damodar and others of his caliber. The depth of the experience of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu in his divine trance was so great that he took the chanting of Hare Krishna to be noise. So we may chant the holy name of Krishna, and that may be simply noise. From another angle of vision, however, it may be seen that Krishna Nam is of such immense value that it was given preference over direct participation in Krishna Lila. But the direction given to us by our acharyas, the spiritual preceptors in our line, is that we should consider our own chanting to be merely noise. Interesting. We should consider our own chanting to be merely noise. One day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was wandering near the seashore. A girl was fervently singing in praise of Lord Jagannath, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ran straight towards that sound. She was singing what we were singing yesterday. Govinda. He began running through the thickets of dangerous thorns. Then Govinda, his attendant, somehow stopped him. When he understood everything, he said, "Oh, a girl is singing? Govinda has saved my life." Half man in ecstasy. Sometimes he would suddenly feel that Krishna is playing with the gopis in the Yamuna. In that mood, he would jump into the ocean crying, "Krishna!" He jumped there and became unconscious as the waves were playing with him. Finding him gone, his devotees would wonder, "Where is Mahaprabhu?" And headed by Swarup Damodar, they would begin their searching. Once, the night was almost over, and they still couldn't find him. At last, a fisherman came running, half mad, chanting, "Krishna, Krishna, Krishna." "What is the matter?" Swarup Damodar asked. The fisherman replied, "Every night I catch fish, but tonight I threw out my net and caught something very heavy. When I began pulling it in, I thought it was a big fish. But when I took it on the shore, I found a big human figure. And when I went to remove the body from my net, somehow I touched him. Now I am half mad." Then Swarup Damodar said, "You must have seen our Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?" "No, I have seen him before," the fisherman said. "He has a beautiful figure. It is not him, it is something else." Swarup Damodar told him. Anyhow, try to show us where he is. They went and saw the long figure of the Lord, his joints dislocated, lying on the sands, senseless. All his joints were dislocated. Wow. Swarup Damodar and the others began to chant the holy name of Krishna in his ears until he came to his senses. At that time, Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu began to describe the Leela of Krishna that he had seen in his trance. In this way, after Advaita Acharya's poetry was sent to him, Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu lived his last 12 years in the mood of intense separation that Srimati Radharani felt for Krishna. Mad Nimāi Paṇḍit. This intense degree of divine madness was exhibited by Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu in his last days on this earth. But even in his life in Navadvip, when Mahāprabhu was the great boy scholar Nimāi Paṇḍit, everyone thought that he had become mad after he had returned from Gaya and had begun showing signs of devotion to Krishna. Everybody thought that he became mad after he returned from Gaya and began to show signs of devotion to Krishna. The normal thinking men of the day said, "This Nimāi Paṇḍit was a good man, a gentleman, but after returning from Gaya, he is totally changed, and he is doing so many undesirable things. He wants to preach so many new ideas. What is this? He has become a madman. He doesn't care for any rules and regulations, social customs, or ancient scriptures. Only Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Before he was normal, but recently he has become abnormal. Of course, he has a powerful intellect. When he was a professor, he did not care for the scholarship of even the greatest pundits. He easily defeated the champion scholar Keshav Kashmiri and many others. But now we have lost him. Now he is different. He does not care for the Brahmins or the scriptures that we follow. He has a new opinion, and he is presenting that to the world. His ways are incomprehensible." The neighbors complained to his mother Shachi Devi. "Shachi Devi, what is this? Nimāi was not like this before. Now he doesn't care for us anymore. He even has no charm for his own wife. What has he become? You are the daughter of a gentleman, but just see your misfortune. What to do? The fact is this, Shachi, your only son, who was so brilliant, has become mad. You must arrange for proper medical treatment." This is from Chaitanya Bhagavat. We'll get to this in our readings. Then Shachi Devi called for the Kabiraj, the doctor. The doctor made an arrangement for a small brick bathing tank to be filled up with Vishnu oil, which is supposed to be a very cooling thing. And Nimāi Paṇḍit was asked to bathe in that tank. He did so and suddenly began laughing and playing in the tank. And he was diving and swimming in the oil. He was laughing madly. At that time, Srivas Thakur arrived for a visit and asked, "How is Nimāi Paṇḍit?" Shachi Devi told him, "Just see my misfortune. My Nimāi has become completely mad. I called for the doctor and arranged for this treatment." As she showed Srivas how Nimāi was playing in the tank, he asked, "What is this? What is this?" Shachi replied, "My neighbors advised me to do this." Srivas said, "You are a very gentle lady. You do not know how to deal with others. What Nimāi has, I want. Your boy has Krishna Prem, and I want a drop of that. If only we are allowed to live a few days longer, we shall have the opportunity of seeing many wonderful pastimes of Krishna." Then Nimāi became sober for the time being and told Srivas, "If you had also remarked that I was mad, then I would have run to the Ganges and finished my life. At least you have understood what I am. That is my solace, Srivas. If you would have told the public, he is mad, then I would have found that there is no man here to accept what I have come to give, so I must enter the river and drown myself without hesitation. Before Nimāi Paṇḍit went to Gaya, he was a big scholar. When he returned from Gaya, surcharged with devotion, he began to explain grammar again, as before, but now he would show Krishna in the grammar. He would give interpretations of the roots of Sanskrit grammar, which showed the relationship between Sanskrit and Krishna. Like we have in this book right here, Harinamamrita Vyakaranam by Jiva Gosvāmī. He explains that the sound is only a vibration, and vibration means the potency of Krishna. It is the potency of Krishna that makes everything pure. That makes everything move. If that potency is withdrawn, everything is dead and gone. In this way, Nimāi Paṇḍit wanted to explain grammar in terms of Krishna. Then his students became very much disturbed. What is this, they thought? We have come to learn Sanskrit from Nimāi Paṇḍit, but our academic requirements will not be satisfied now. Still, the coaching we got from him is never to be had anywhere else, so we cannot abandon him. But how to improve the style of his teaching? They went to the previous teacher of Nimāi Paṇḍit, Gangadas Pandit. He had been Nimai's tutor in his childhood. Gangadas said, "You are all fortunate to be students of Nimāi Paṇḍit. He has such a nice professor. He is such a nice professor. What is your complaint?" The student said, We were very much pleased by studying under Nimāi Paṇḍit. But now, since he has returned from Gaya, he is explaining everything in quite a new way. He teaches Sanskrit in terms of the holy name of Krishna. He understands a very high philosophy, but that won't serve our purpose of studying grammar. It is certainly valuable, but it won't help our studies. Please ask him to change his ways. He has regard for you because you are his teacher. Only you can influence him. All right, he said. Ask him to see me tomorrow. The students went to Nimāi Paṇḍit and told him, Your former professor has called for you. He wants to see you. Nimāi said, Yes, I shall go and see him. Later that day, he went to Gangadas Pandit and offered his respectful obeisances. Gangadas said, How are you, my boy? I am happy to hear that you went to Gaya and performed your religious duties for your ancestors. This is all very good. But what is the matter? Your students are complaining to me. Is it true that you do not care to teach them properly? Why don't you care to teach them as you did before? They all appreciate your teachings. But after returning from Gaya, you have adopted a novel style of teaching. Don't continue this, I say. Teach them properly. I hear from the people that you have become a devotee. But were your forefathers not devotees? Of course. Of course, you have become a devotee of an extraordinary type. But don't go astray. What you speak about devotion seems unnecessary. That is not really grammar. Do you think you are giving new light with your new meanings? Do you think your former professors were all idiots? What do you have to say? Nimāi was silent. All right then, don't go astray. Remain calm and follow your predecessors and teach the boys well. Teach them well so that we will not have to hear any complaints against you in the future. Your students won't go to any other school. They are very fond of you, so teach them well. Then Nimāi Paṇḍit took the dust of his teacher's feet and told him, Yes, I shall try to obey your order. By dint of your foot dust, no one can challenge me in scholarship. Don't worry, I shall teach them well. Why should I worship Krishna? A few days later, Nimāi Paṇḍit began to chant the name, Gopi, Gopi. He began to chant Gopi, Gopi while he was in a trance of devotion. Some big scholars that held a high social position, they went to him and said, Nimāi Paṇḍit, you are a big Nimāi Paṇḍit, you were a big pundit, and now you are a devotee. That doesn't matter. But why do you chant the name Gopi Gopi? Take the name of Krishna. According to the scriptures, that will bring you some benefit. But you are chanting Gopi Gopi. What is the benefit you'll get from that? You are mad. Nimāi said, who is this Krishna? Why should I worship him? He is a dacoit and a woman hunter. And Nimāi picked up a stick and chased them away. Later, they began to talk amongst themselves, saying, Nimāi Paṇḍit has become stark mad. We went to speak something good to him, and he came with a stick to kill us. We are not sons of ordinary men. We have our high position in society and our family dignity. We will show him. They began a conspiracy to teach Nimāi a good lesson by giving him a good beating. At that time, Nimāi suddenly cried out, I took the greatest measures to deliver these wretched souls, but I see now that they are simply creating more sins by abusing me and conspiring to punish me. Why have I come? What will be effective in delivering them? I shall have to take the role of a sannyasi. Otherwise, they will think that I am simply one of them, a householder. But if I become a sannyasi, a preacher, then they may have some respect. They will say, we are all householders. He has become a sannyasi. He should be revered. Then, from that reverence, they will get some benefit. Otherwise, they will have to go to hell for thinking that I am an ordinary man. To create some respect so that they may benefit, I shall have to accept the role of a sannyasi. And he revealed to Nityananda Prabhu and a few others, on the last day of the first month of this year, I shall take sannyas. So tomorrow we will read this next chapter, A Tragedy of Separation. This is a very long chapter. It will take us 2 days to read. It's like 9,000 words, I think. So that is our reading for today. A Tragedy of Separation. Yeah, this is a very heavy chapter. All right, so it's now 8:02 a.m. We still have some more time. Hey, I didn't read, like we read from Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj and also from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's article on Purushottam Mas, but there's one article, I think it is on VC Vani that we didn't read. Let's see. Actually, I have it on this reader. Yeah, there it is. Oh, sorry. Shri Purushottam Mas Mahatma. We can read this. Okay, so this is from the Vishuddha Chaitanya Vani website. Harikatha by Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj. It's just taking some time to load. Okay. Oh, wow, this looks like a long article. So I'm just going to read parts of it. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to read this whole thing because, see, look, it says that Srila Mahārāja is reading out an article, Shri Purushottam Mas Mahatma, the glories of Shri Purushottam by Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Srila Mahārāja is simultaneously commenting on it. His comments are featured in red color. This article was originally translated from Bengali to Hindi and published in Sri Bhagavad Patrika. Some part of this Hindi article was translated into English and published in Raise of the Harmonist. This English translation has now been included as it is in this article below. I wish I would have seen this yesterday. Then we could have read that. We could have read that instead. But maybe what we can do is just look for some of those red parts. Yeah, so I'm not going to read the article by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but I'll just read some certain parts. Okay. While this article provides much information about the prescribed observance and abstinence during Sri Purushottam Mas Vrat, Srila Mahārāja often emphasized that one should focus mainly on Shravan, Kirtan, and Vaishnav Seva during the month, while observing the food restrictions as prescribed for the month of Kartik. Okay. Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Goswami Maharaj. To harmonize the lunar calendar with the solar calendar, the month of Purushottam appears after 2 years, 8 months, 16 days, and approximately 4 dandas. From the point of view of the Smartas, the ardent followers of the Smriti Shastra, Purushottam Mas is also popularly known as Mlecha Mas or Mala Mas, the unholy month or the impure month. As per Smarta considerations, no auspicious activities are to be performed during this month. However, from the point of view of the Vaishnavas, this month is very auspicious and pure, since it presents a good opportunity to pursue Bhagavad Bhakti exclusively, as all the activities of the Karma Kanda are temporarily stalled. Yeah, this is not the month to do any Karma Kanda activities or to perform any material work. This is like the worst month for doing any of those kinds of things. So the only thing that we can do in this month is Bhagavad Bhakti, and it's everything that we do in Bhakti and during this month is increased. Like, it's much more powerful. The 12 sons called Dwadasha, the Dwadasha Aditya, the 12 sons, rule over the 12 months of the year. We can see in Krishna's Kaliya Daman Lila that after Krishna subdued Kaliya Nag, he came out of the waters of the Yamuna. Having fought with Kaliya all day in the cold waters of Yamuna, he started trembling with cold. Such are his sweet pastimes. So he climbed onto a hillock to warm himself underneath the sun. At that time, all the 12 sons came to serve the Lord. Hence, that hillock came to be known as Dwadashaditya Tila. You can see that right next to Madan Mohan Temple, like right beside Madan Mohan Temple is that. After Krishna felt somewhat normalized, he began to sweat profusely due to the heat generated by the 12 sons. His sweat streamed down and mixed with the waters of Yamuna. The place where it merged came to be known as, Praskanda Tirtha. Interesting. Vaishnavas consider the Purushottam month as the best, because in this month, even the sun is Krishna himself. There is no rule of the demigods during this month at all. This cannot be comprehended by us. For instance, in the material world, when the president's rule prevails, do any ministers function? Who conducts the affairs? The president himself rules, and even though the chief minister may continue to hold his position, he cannot function. So, from our point of view, it is a very auspicious month. In this month, one should sing the glories of the Lord abundantly. By observing Akadashi Tithi in this month, one gets relieved and purified of even traces of inclination to pursue rewarding seeking activities, karma kanda. Okay. Let's see what else is in red. Okay, I'm not gonna read everything. I'm just seeing if there's any. Sorry, I'm just looking through. Okay, I'm going to read this section. Oh Ramapati. This is, what is it? After hearing about the distress of Malamas, the impure month, Sri Krishna's heart melted and he spoke thus. This is when Narayan took this Adimas to Krishna in Goloka. And so then Krishna spoke to Adimas. He said, Oh Ramapati. Oh Ramapati, just as I am celebrated. So Krishna is speaking to Narayan right now. Just as I am celebrated in this world by the name Purushottam, similarly, this Adimas too will be renowned in this world by the name Purushottam. Now I offer all my qualities to this month. Becoming like me, from today onwards, this Adimas is the monarch of all the other months and is the most worshipable and most adored in the world. All the other months are Sakam, that is, they will grant worldly desires. This month, however, is Nishkam. Those who worship this month, either without any desires, Akam, or with all types of desires, will have all their karmas burnt. That's why the karma kandis don't like this month, because even though they'll worship Krishna with their desires, all their karma will be burnt. Everything that they work so hard to achieve will just be burnt. All their good karma will be burnt also. And then they will achieve me. My bhaktas sometimes commit offenses, but in this Purushottam month, they will be protected from committing any offense. In this Adimas, those greatly foolish persons who neglect to perform auspicious activities such as japa, giving in charity, visiting and bathing at the holy places, and who are envious of the dvijas of the brahmanas, are deemed wicked, unfortunate, and living at the cost of others. Thus, they will not attain a cent of happiness, even in their dreams. Conversely, those who are filled with bhakti will take advantage of this Purushottam month to perform archan to me. After enjoying worldly happiness, such as wealth, sons, and so on, they will eventually attain residence in Goloka. So now, Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Goswami Maharaj, he says, karma is that activity whose reaction, whether good or bad, one has to endure because the activity is performed with the mentality that I am the doer. That is why Thakur Narottam discouraged one from performing either pious or impious activities. Narottam Das Thakur said, Punya sheshu kerdam, tahar na loyanam, papa punya dui parihar. Don't even talk about pious activities, which are the source of all happiness. Give up both pious and sinful activities. One should give up pious and sinful activities. Can anyone give up pious activities? Only one who is fortunate can do so. The general thinking is, what is the fault in taking a dip in the Ganges at Haridwar? Let me just take one dip. But this is also binding. Vrindavan Das Thakur said, Keho punya keho pape sarva vishay bhog. Through pious as well as impious activities, one derives sense enjoyment. One becomes rich or poor respectively because of pious and impious activities. However, one cannot avoid becoming diseased or old just because one possesses wealth. In Assam, an elderly person who was also wealthy once requested me, can you please make me young again by preparing that Chyavan Prash? You know Chyavan Prash, right? Which was originally made for Chyavan Rishi. I will pay you whatever it costs. I asked him, what will you do by becoming young? Were you not young before? And what did you achieve then? If you become young again, you'll simply continue to lead your life like you did earlier and again experience sorrow. Haven't you witnessed history? What benefit did Hiranyakashipu achieve by performing austerities for 10,000 years? What benefit did Ravan attain? Do you also want that? This is what people are inclined to. It is said in the above verse, my bhaktas sometimes commit offenses, but in this Purushottam month, they will be protected from committing any offense. What a great opportunity the Lord has provided. Okay. Almost at the end. Okay, so there's this mantra which we just said before that we should say every day during this month. Agacha Devadevesha Shri Krishna Purushottama Radhaya Sahitaschatra Grihana Pujanam Mama. So, regarding this verse, Srila Bharati Maharaj said, O Purushottam Krishna, please come to my home along with Sri Radha. I wish to worship you. With these feelings, he should be invoked and invited. Valmiki sang the glories of all the rules and regulations to be observed in this month. In this way, Valmiki gave all the praman, all the evidence. What does it mean? Those who are desirous to follow this Purushottam Vrat should only honor Havishyana. And Havishyana is this, what we read yesterday. It means wheat. The following items constitute Havishyana. Means wheat, godhuma, shali tandul, that's a special variety of rice which is harvested after 5 months, unlike ordinary rice, which is harvested in 2 months. Interesting. Split green gram, barley, sesame, green peas, foxtail millet, uditandul, vastuka, shak, hilancha, or hil mochika shak. But we can't have that with Havishyana this time. Ginger, kalashak, radish, tuber, cucumber, ramba, Himalayan rock salt, sea salt, curd, ghee, milk from which cream has not been extracted, not packaged milk, jackfruit, mango, myrobalan, Indian long pepper, cumin seeds, powdered dried ginger, tamarind, mulberry, that's shahatut fruit, custard apple, sitapal, Indian gooseberry, amalika. Whoa, I've never heard that. It's called Indian gooseberry, amla. Sugar produced from sugarcane, not the sugar that is produced from the sweet potato. Rock candy, mishri. Food vegetables not cooked in oil, but cooked in clarified butter or ghee. Huh. Wow, so we should not use any oil during this month. We should only use ghee. One gets the same fruit from observing a fast as one gets from honoring Havishyana. Valmiki also narrated a long list of food items that one should abstain from eating during this vrat, along with other rules and regulations. Wow, that's very interesting. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. It is stipulated that in the scriptures that the temple priest should honor the Mahaprasad of the Lord, and if he finds any stones or hair in the prasad, then it is considered that no offering has been done to the Lord. In such a case, he has to wake up the deities once again after 2 hours and then offer them bhog afresh. Otherwise, it amounts to seva aparad. Dang, that's heavy. So when I'm taking prasad next time and I find a rock in my dal, say, gotta wake up the deities and make another offering again. Wow. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah. And so then at the end of this month, all the items that one abstained from during Purushottam Mas can be consumed only after first offering them to a qualified Brahman at the end of Purushottam Mas. Then Srila Maharaj says, not that you get everything from the market and consume right after the vrat without donating. So we all have to give donations, feed a Brahman at the end of this vrat. Okay, this is interesting. A vrat is of 3 types. 1, upavas. 2, nakta, that means eating havishyana at night. And 3, eating once. Srila Bhakti Maharaj says, upavas. Upavas means to abstain from eating. If you have sustained on only milk or water, it is considered that you have not eaten. Okay. Nakta. Nakta means to have only havishyana at night and nothing during the day. Eating havishyana is considered equivalent to fasting. And then eating once. Eating once, either in the afternoon or evening, whatever one has decided as one's vow, one should conduct oneself during the vrat accordingly. Yeah, and Caitanya Gauriya Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj, he says that we should discuss the Brahmastava, the 14th chapter of the 10th canto of Śrīmad Bhagavatam. Srila Bhakti Maharaj says that says no specific topics from Śrīmad Bhagavatam have been mentioned. Some discuss Brahmastava because by these prayers, Brahma had freed himself from the offenses he had committed, being ignorant about Sri Krishna's position as the Supreme Lord. I haven't read any Śrīmad Bhagavatam yesterday, though. I mean, we read those verses from Caitanya Bhagavat. I don't know if that counts as anything. Anyhow, I think that's all I'm going to read for today from this. If you want to read the rest of this, you can go to vcvani.com. This Namaskar mantra, which we said, Vande Nava Ghana Shamam Dvibhujam Muralidharam Pitambara Dara Devam Sa Radham Purushottamam. Srila Bhakti Maharaj says, this is the pranam mantra. O Lord Purushottam, whose complexion is that of a fresh rain cloud, whose two-armed form is holding a flute, who is dressed in yellow garments, upper and lower, who is accompanied by Śrīdhara, my obeisances unto you. That's a pranam mantra to Purushottam. And then when we do arti, there's this mantra, which means you are Radhika Raman, and you're beautiful like millions of cupids. So when we do arti, we can say this verse right here. Nira Jayami Devesha Mindi Varak Dala Chavin Radhika Ramana Premna Koti Kandarpa Sundaram. You need to memorize this verse, huh? Okay, and then there's the Dhyan mantra, the meditation mantra. Okay. Let's see how he concludes the article. Okay, so the Hari Bhakti Vilas recommends, those whose intelligence has been purified by bhakti are detached from the inclination for sense enjoyment. The intelligence of such persons is naturally pure. Therefore, they are jitatma. They have conquered their minds. It is by their innate bhakti, rather than by upavas, by fasting, and other such activities, that they have purified their minds and are thus able to please Sri Krishna at all times. Then Srila Bhakti Maharaj says, in all circumstances, they will please Sri Krishna by their spontaneous devotion. Fasting and other activities cannot become the cause of their cleansing their heart. The nishta of these ekantik bhaktas is Shravan, Kirtan, Smaran, and hence fasting and other general rules are not obligatory for them. Okay, so for pure Vaishnavas, so they don't need to perform all these fasts and other things. Smaran is not possible without kirtan. Kirtana prabhave smarana hoive se kale nirjana bhajana sambhav. If the ekantika bhaktas are told to do anything besides their natural disposition of being absorbed in Sri Krishna Smaran and Sri Krishna Kirtan, they are not inclined to do it. Okay, so anyhow, that's from Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj on Purushottam Vrat. Let's see if there's anything. Okay, it's 8:23 now, so we should wrap it up now. Yeah, there's nothing by my Gurudev here. So we'll end it here now. Do a little kirtan and then do Jadwani. Just checking and see how many people stayed. Oh wow, good amount of people. Let me see. Can we use soybean oil for cooking and have soya chunks during Purushottamas and Chaturmasya? I don't think we can, but I wanted to confirm. Yes, that is true. We are not supposed to have any soya during this month. I broke that. I had some soy sauce. I haven't broken it during Purushottam though, but I did break it in the previous month. I had some brags, so I need to stop doing that now. But yeah, no soya during this Chaturmasya or Purushottam. That's the most difficult one, I think, because soya is in everything now. Oh, the most affordable oil you can get for cooking is vegetable oil and soybean oil. Yeah, maybe vegetable oil is okay, but soybean oil is not okay. Yeah. Definitely not okay. I know that for sure. Yes, during Chaturmasya also, you're not supposed to use any soya, no soybean oil. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashvatara Shata Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shri Gurudev ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashvatara Shata Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashvatara Shata Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashvatara Shata Shishimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashvatara Shata Shishimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Shila Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishta Shila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai, Shri Rupa Anugakoriya Guru Varga ki jai, Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopala Bhattadasa Raghunath Shara Gosai Prabhu ki jai, Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Sarva Avishta Vridhata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Purnamasi Yogamai ki jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Shri Purushottam Dev ki jai, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ju ki jai, Shri Purushottam Kshetra ki jai, Shri Purushottam Vrat ki jai, Vrat Palan Kari Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Golden Volcano of Divine Love ki jai, Srila Bhakti Rakṣaka Śrīdhara Gosai Maharaj ki jai. And then we read from Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Gosai Maharaj ki jai, that is article. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari
Hari
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Padadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Hey,
Dandavat
Prabhuji,
Pranam. Yes.
on the Vishud Chaitanya Vani YouTube channel, I know they're posting Guru Maharaj's Harikta in English every day.
Oh yes. They're going to do that every day throughout Purushottam, right?
Right.
Okay, so everybody, you hear that? Go over to, what is it, Kishore? Is it Gaudiya Rasamrita? They're doing that?
No, it's Vishuddha Chaitanya Vani, the YouTube channel.
Okay, so I guess you can go to YouTube, and in YouTube type in Vishuddha Chaitanya Vani, and it'll probably come up, right? The YouTube channel.
Yeah, it'll come up.
Yeah, so if you do that, and you can probably find it on the Vishuddha Chaitanya Vani website. If you do that, then every day throughout this Purushottam Vrat, they're posting some Harikatha by Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Gosai Maharaj. And then Kishore, did he say on Gaudiya, like they're doing it from Gurudev also, like on Gaudiya Rasamrita? They're doing something like that?
No, there's just regular Gurudev Katha on Gaudiya Rasamrita. Regular Gurudev Nectar.
Okay, so on Vishuddha Chaitanya Vani, you can go check that out. The Vishuddha Chaitanya Vani channel on YouTube. Cool. I'm going to try that also. Too bad I didn't do it yesterday. I did listen to some Harikatha yesterday on YouTube. So, yeah, that's a nice little vrat. because
Hey, Prabhuji.
that's the most important thing during this month is to hear Shravan, right? And through that, everything comes. Kirtan comes through Shravan, right? What Kishore?
Oh, is it okay if I make a humble request on all the devotees here? Like it's a bit childish, but I still want to ask.
Okay.
I have a dentist appointment tomorrow. Can someone pray that they don't mess up my teeth?
Okay. Yes. Well, I'll pray that your teeth doesn't get messed up. All right. Wow. It's a big one, huh? It's a difficult one. Okay.
No, I'm just so extremely worried. That's all.
Okay. Yes, we can all pray for you. All right, everybody. So I'll see you all tomorrow, and we will read this chapter from, what is the chapter called? It's the tragedy of separation, I think, from Golden Volcano of Divine Love. Jai Shri Radhe, Hare Krishna. Just checking the comments. Hi, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Indira Mataji, Sudevi Didi, Vidya Lala Sudiri, everybody. So many people, I'm not going to say everybody's name. Hare Krishna.